Hello everyone, this is Molly. Welcome back to Heartbeat Narratives. I am in a very special place today with a very special friend. My childhood friend Jamie is with me. Jamie, thank you for coming.
So nice to be here with you, Molly. It's fun being here in Japan with you. Oh wait, I guess maybe I wasn't supposed to say that.
Yeah, I mean, we're here in Japan. I finally get to see you again after a year.
Exactly.
And we go way back to childhood in Minnesota, and now you're living here. So how did you end up in Tokyo?
Just to make it a long story short, I've been in Japan for the last 8 years with work, and yeah, it's been quite a long time, 8 years, but it just feels so fast because a lot of things happen. It's really fun. Every day is fun.
How did you end up in Japan? I know that there's like a family story there.
Okay. Yeah, so I was born in the western part of Japan in a place called Hachioji, and I lived there until I was 5, and I moved to the States. Yeah, I was there until I was 19 years old, and then I went to Japan as part of an excursion from my church for 2 years. I was up in the Northern Island, and then I ended up finishing my college over in Hawaii. And then I came back to Japan a little bit after working in the States for a little bit. So yeah, I've been here for quite a while now, half of my life.
It's funny how fast it goes. You know, like we both grew up in the Midwest and we're both living pretty far away from home at this point, even though Japan is home for you now and Hawaii is home for me now. Can you share a little bit about what makes your heart beat?
So recently I would say language learning, particularly Japanese. And it's kind of weird for me saying this because I've lived here for so long. Why does that make me happy? And when I'm just surrounded by it, doesn't really make any sense. Maybe. I grew up in the US and I never really was around Japanese people growing up. And so being here now and working, and it's been really great. But after being here for some time, I just became complacent with my language learning because it just became routine, like work and everything, up until maybe about 2 years ago when I started reading novels, and I've been reading a lot of Japanese and learning lots of new words that I would never encounter, in your daily life or working. So it's fun.
I'm really impressed. I know that you grew up speaking Japanese within your family, but it sounds like you've leveled up from that as well. When did you first learn Japanese as a kid, and then how has it progressed till now in your 30s? Are you in your...
Yeah, I'm in my 30s. Although I look like I'm a little younger. The other day, someone thought I was 18. Some 19-year-old girls thought I was 18, so I was like, wow. But anyway, so just to answer your question, I actually only really was able to speak Japanese for the first 5 years of my life. Even though my dad, he's from America, I didn't really know English very well before we moved to the States. And when we moved to the States, just everything was in English, and so we didn't really speak very much Japanese. I didn't really have any Japanese friends around me, and so I forgot a lot of Japanese because I stopped using it on a daily basis. Even though my mom would speak it, I started to answer her back in English. And so for about a period of about 10 years, I didn't really speak Japanese. And so I had, somewhat of an understanding of what my mom's saying. Before we moved, we had some kind of TV shows that we recorded here in Japan and we brought with us. And so I would watch the same shows over and over again, same recorded VHSs. But it really came to me when I was 15. I came to Japan and I realized that, when I was trying to talk with family, I was really frustrated because I couldn't really express things the way I wanted them to, like how I could speak in English. And so I really started to study Japanese in a very serious way. And because it was originally my first language, I wanted to study Japanese purely through Japanese. And so I would take my younger brother's textbooks. My younger brother, he was in this Japanese school in Minnesota, for Japanese overseas people. It was for their families, for their kids. And it's a Saturday school. And he would go it would be about a few hours every Saturday throughout the calendar year. But anyway, so he would go to that, but I never really went to that school. So I would take his old textbooks and I would just go through it and I would read it and I would just mark every single word that I didn't know. And then I would read the definitions. And even within the definitions, there were words that I wouldn't know. So I would just go on really, really long rabbit holes trying to just know what every word meant. And so I probably don't recommend this to language learners because it's probably not the most effective way, but that's how I learned.
Yeah. Wow. And I know that lately you've been reading a lot more in recent years to brush up on your Japanese. Now that you're here fully immersed in the language, I know you worked as a consultant for a while, so your Japanese was like very high level, probably very specific to like the industry that you were working in. And could you tell me about your last 2 years reading a lot more?
Oh yeah, it's been really fun because one day I was in a used bookstore and I saw an X-Files novelization. I'm like, X-Files? No way, they have novelizations? And it was in Japanese. And that show was very popular when I was really little. And even like when I lived in Japan, it was very popular. And it's basically what it is. It's two FBI agents. They are in charge of solving really weird supernatural cases, right? Some involve like aliens or like werewolves or different kind of creatures. And so that's terminology that you would never encounter in like daily business situations or in daily life. And so I thought that was really fascinating, just exploring language from like a new, different field, like science fiction. And so after getting some X-Files books, I decided to, let's just explore more, like what other books are there? And so I started reading legal thrillers like John Grisham books, but the Japanese versions, yeah. Yeah, so I learned a lot of like legalese terms, and so that was very fun. And yeah, so quite a few novels here and there I've read. Right now I'm reading Star Wars.
Okay.
Yeah, and so that's fun. It was not Revenge of the Sith, but which one is it? In The Empire Strikes Back. I mean, I was trying to think of the title in English. Yes, that's what I'm reading right now.
Can you tell us about your other hobby of film? Because this relates to Star Wars.
Yeah. So right now we're getting ready for me, my director. I'm involved in film outside of my work. And I work with a director. He's from England. But we are getting ready for Star Wars Celebration Day. And that's going to happen in a few weeks from now. And so there is this organization called the 501st. They are Star Wars cosplay kind of group that exists in most major countries in the world. I think the branch in one of the branches in the U.S., they were in the Mandalorian and big Star Wars series. But there's a branch here in Japan, and it's their 25th anniversary. And so they asked me and the director if we would be interested in making a little film with them in it. And so we did that, and we went out different places, probably shot multiple days with them. And there's this place, Airsoft Field, where we shot scenes where there's like explosives, real live explosives. It's really fun. And so that's what I do on the side. I shoot film. I help produce film, and it's been very, very fun so far. Yeah.
I love hearing about your life here in Japan. Because we grew up together, yeah. I think I met you when I was in elementary school, and I felt like I was, in a way, part of your family, because you come from a family of 5 boys, and then there's me and my brother, so I was kind of like your sister growing up. Yeah. And so seeing that you've created this whole life for yourself here in Tokyo, it's fun to see like how you spend your free time. Yeah. And do you have any tips for people who are visiting Japan for the first time or visiting Tokyo for the first time? Just like broad sweeping, you have to do this, you have to eat this, because you've taken us to some really incredible restaurants, including the one we just ate at, dim sum. We had Chinese food.
Yeah.
It was very, very good dim sum.
So I think a lot of people, they come to Japan wanting to eat Japanese food, and I think that's a good idea. But I think in Japan there's like food from many different countries, and these Japanese chefs, they go outside of Japan and they make like French food or Italian food, and they make it with their kind of style, and that's something maybe that some tourists kind of miss out here in Japan, that would be very interesting kind of food to eat. And so I would say just be really open with Japan, maybe not just do things just really Japanese, but just be maybe open to maybe more kind of ideas and possibilities. I think that's what I would say. Yeah.
Any other hot spots we need to visit?
Hot spots. Well, if you've never done this, maybe it would be interesting. You can't do this outside of Japan, is probably go and see sumo and eat what the sumo wrestlers eat. They eat this type of hot pot. I think it has a lot of calories, but it's very healthy. There's many different varieties of this hot pot, but it's called Chanko. And so I would definitely recommend that.
Have you seen sumo?
Yes, I've seen sumo. I actually seen it very recently. Well, not very, I should say it was 2 years ago that I saw it for the first time in my life. Sumo is very different experience than, like, say, baseball or basketball. It's one of those like sports where it's very apparent what's going on, so I guess you don't really need to know what's going on with the Japanese language, so anyone can go and enjoy it. Obviously, it'd be better if you knew like the sumo wrestlers that were up, because you can cheer them on. But yeah, no, it's fun. And one thing that's very interesting about sumo is that at the very end, the sumo wrestlers, they get all these like prizes, and like some of the prizes that they get is interesting, because some of them is like you get like certain kilos of food, like you're going to get 100 kilos of rice. Yeah.
Wow.
So I was like, wow, that's kind of funny. They need to eat lots of food to maintain that weight, because that's part of this part of the sport, and that's what makes it kind of unique.
Yeah. And to set the stage for where we are right now, because we're sitting outside, and it's a Monday night. Where exactly are we in Tokyo?
So we're in the eastern part of Tokyo called Hibiya, and it's closer to the Tokyo station, that eastern side, and has amazing restaurants. And today we ran into a surprise. There was this flower tunnel that was in the middle of a plaza that we just took some pictures just a little bit before we started this interview, and it was amazing. It's very colorful.
The nicest fake flowers we've ever seen.
Yeah.
So, Jamie, could you tell me a little bit about your life here, just in general?
Yeah. So, I work from home, and so it's really nice for me. I don't have to worry about traffic or anything. I really have a really sweet setup here in Japan, I'd say. And some of the things I can enjoy in Japan, you really can't do in the States, like go to onsen, which are public baths, which is culturally not done most places in the world outside of Japan. But I kind of grew up with that, and so I think that's really nice. And most Japanese people would say that that's something that's part of their everyday life, and so it's nice to have that and just access that at any time. Also, Japanese food in Japan is amazing.
And being a person who's both Japanese and American, you're kind of in this in-between space. How do you navigate that?
For me, I don't look Japanese, and so everyone assumes that I'm from maybe Europe, like a European country, or like I'm from England, and so I don't really get that treatment, which is good in some ways, yeah, and I don't mind it, actually. So it's not me navigating so much, it's me just getting a bunch of compliments saying that your Japanese is great. Sometimes, at first I thought maybe it was annoying, but like, I guess I'm just like so used to it. Maybe some people say that. They're not saying that just to put you down or anything, so you have to look at things positively or from their viewpoint, because most of Japan is just Japanese. Like I think it's about 97% of the population.
Wow.
Very homogeneous society, and so you just have to take that into consideration of when people like compliment you or say something to you that might not sound like a compliment to you, or maybe it's obvious in your eyes but not theirs. Just putting yourself in other people's shoes. So, I just say thank you very much if I get complimented in my Japanese, because my Japanese is not perfect, so might as well take the compliment well.
Would you be able to share something in Japanese? Maybe talk about your upcoming Star Wars event in Japanese? That would be really cool.
Just in Japanese?
Sure.
Okay. 4月18日から20日の3日間にかけてスター・ウォーズ・セレブレーションという世界中から集まるスター・ウォーズファンの、集まりがあるんですけれども、そこで、私と監督さんが作っているショートフィルムをショーケースします。これは50ファーストっていうコスプレの団体のもののショートフィルムで、そこでその彼らの活動ぶりをこう披露することになりますと。で、それはもう何千人の前で披露するのでとても楽しみにしてます。その動画の中では爆発物を爆破させたり、いろんなスター・ウォーズの中で有名なシーンとかを再現したりするものとなっていますと。なのですごく楽しみです。はい。
ありがとうございます。Jamie, what is your favorite thing about Japan?
Favorite thing about Japan is probably the food. I'm not gonna lie, the food here is amazing. There's just the quality is great, and that's what makes it different. I mean, you'll always get good quality like anywhere you go. Like in the States, there's always good quality food, but it can be more hit and miss in the States. I still miss like some of the steak that's in the States, because in Japan, although you could get good steak, it tends to be a little bit more expensive, and so I kind of miss the a little bit cheaper but still good, really good quality steak in the States. So
I guess when you grew up in the heartland of the Midwest like we did, we just had access to like all the things that grow in the continental U.S. in Minnesota. So as we've been talking, has anything come up in your mind that you'd like to share about your life in Japan or about your Japanese language learning? Any other thoughts?
So basically, I want to say that I think it's really important for a person to grow and not be afraid to try new things. I never really was involved in any kind of film projects or anything like that up until this point, but just being involved with that has like opened different doors and opportunities, and also just even though I had been living in Japan and had been working consulting in Japan for a while, I had gotten complacent with my Japanese learning, and so just the past 2 years just reading novels and learning things that's just outside my normal daily life or work, just learning things like Japanese, I think that's really helped me to just grow as a person. And so whoever you are, just not being complacent is, I think, is really important. That's one thing that I've really discovered recently. Yeah.
I really appreciate those thoughts, and it's such a joy to see you and your life unfold here in Japan. We've known each other since we were kids, so to see how you're growing up and you're really like taking ownership of like your life here, and it seems like a beautiful celebration of all of your identities and interests. So as we wrap up our interview, we are sitting outside a cafe. The sun has set, the trains are going by, it's kind of chilly, but I guess we're gonna hop back on our train and head back towards, is it Nihonbashi?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. We'll hop back on our train and head back to our little hotel before we go to Kyoto tomorrow. But yeah, anything else, Jamie?
I think my English is getting worse now because I've just been putting so much effort into my Japanese. So maybe that's what I have to get back into next, getting my English to a better level now. But yeah, no, but I really love talking to you. It was a great time, and I hope you guys have a great time in Tokyo.
Thank you so much, Jamie, and we'll be back. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next episode. Aloha.